Hi everybody, John Locke here, and today I'm going to go over a little bit of a beginner technique on how to gut a lock if you don't have a key and you're not able to pick it. So yeah, if you're new to lock sport, it could be that you end up with a lock like this that you don't have a key for, and maybe you're not able to pick it and you want to take a look at inside to see what type of pins it has. That's a great way to learn how to pick a lock. But if you're not able to pick it and you don't have a key, you might think it's not possible to get a lock, but you can, and you just need a handful of tools. So first thing you need is you're gonna need a shim, you're gonna need a plug follower, and you'll need a pick and a pair of pliers or a gut tool if you have something like that. So first step is to take our lock and remove the C-clip from the back of it. Okay. Now I'm gonna just set this up here, and just so it's a little easier to show on video, I'm gonna put the lock in a vise. You don't need to do this for this technique, but for me to be able to keep it steady and in focus, that's how I'm gonna do it. Now the next thing you need is your shim. You're gonna take that shim and put it in the back of the lock and just work it so that it can get in between the plug and the top of the core body. So now my shim's in, and it only goes in a little bit. It gets blocked right about here, and that's because the driver pin is below the shear line, and this is getting blocked by my by the very last pin this lock. So I'm gonna stick my pick in, and I'm not picking it. All I'm doing is lifting all of the pins basically as high as I can get them to lift, while gently pushing my shim in to the lock so that it can go further into the core body. So the idea is, once I lift that driver pin above the shear line, my shim should be able to sneak in between it and the key pin, and it will move forward a little more in the lock. So let me try getting that. If you feel the pins binding, it may be that you're binding it with your shim. Let off your shim a little bit, back it out, and then try pushing it back in, or don't push it quite as hard. Okay, there we go. So I got my first pin in. You saw that it moved further in. Now I'm going to my next pin. I'm going to lift that up. Making sure I'm not binding it. And this particular lock, the keyway is quite tight, but that's okay. It might just take a little time. And there I go. Got it in past that pin. Going for the third from the last now. There we go. Got that one in. Fourth from the last. I believe this is a 5-pin lock. So, and there we go. And did I get them all? Oh, nope, one more to go. Now we have it in. Now I've got the shim all the way on top of all the pins. And I'm gonna go ahead and take it back out of the vise, set that aside. And now it's time for our plug follower. We have to be careful now. You can see here that the plug can move in and out because it is essentially picked now. And so we want to be careful not to push the plug out without having a core follower in place. I overlap my shim with the plug follower, keeping it there and trying to keep it straight up and down so the key pins don't fall out. I can just push it all the way out until I have my plug completely out. So now plug with the key pins are in. So we can see this is a 6-pin lock. And I'm going to go ahead and dump my key pins out. Oops. That was pin number 4 here. Can slip by my finger. There's pin 3, pin 5, and pin 6. Now I have all of my key pins out of this lock, and I can now remove my shim, making sure to keep my plug inserted in the lock. So I can remove the shim, put this up here, and now I'm going to turn it upside down so the pins are on the bottom, and I'm going to slowly move my plug out. And now you can you see that half of the pin is there? I'm going to put my tweezers right above it, uncover it completely, and now I can let this up slowly. There's a spring behind it, just like that, and if I don't control it, it's gonna launch and potentially get lost. So that's why I wanna let it raise slowly. Okay, and now I'm gonna do that for the next driver pin. And we have that one out, and we can get the spring out. And the next. And the next. And here's a little trick. If you're getting towards the end, it's kind of deep to get in there with your plug follower. You could just turn it around and start from the very back. I've got 2 more pins, so now I'm going to do the last pin first. There it is, number 6. And the spring. And one last one, pin number 5, driver pin number 5. And one last spring. So now I have a fully gutted lock that I haven't been able to pick, but was able to shim it from the back to be able to gut it. And now I can take a look at all my key pins, all my driver pins, all my springs, and figure out what's going on inside this lock. All right, guys. Well, I hope that was a little bit helpful for you. I want to wish you a good rest of your day, a good rest of your week, and hope to see you in my next video. Bye for now.